Hello and welcome to Pointed Logic Tarot. Today, I'm going to talk all things journal and some stationery. This is in fact a VR to Tangy Tarot and a VR to Satu Bloom, although I don't think either of them actually asked for a VR, but you're getting it. Sorry. What I'm here to talk about is my existing journal practice and how I got here. I also am going to talk about kind of what I'm hoping to do in the future. So I think what I'll do actually is start with my journaling habits before tarot. So this is an old journal of mine from 2019 in the before time, before we had lockdown and pandemic and all of the other things that 2020 brought us. And so I just kind of wanted to share what I did before. And this is interesting. It's a planner. I don't know if this is still available or in print, but it was a fun planner because it had these like monochromatic images that I colored in, and then it had activities as well as it was I think they were weekly planners. So it had weekly spreads, it had a habit tracker, it had month ahead or monthly calendars for each month. So I would do these little activities, but then I really like poetry, so I would put some of my favorite poems in here. I really am a fan of Alex L., which you will see later, as well as Thomas Hardy. Yeah, so this is the kind of stuff I did before I got into tarot. And then 2020 hit and kind of like annihilated a lot of people's lives in a whole bunch of different ways. And I don't have a journal from that year. I then had all sorts of struggles where I was dealing with lots of depression and anxiety and was looking for new ways to sort of stretch my mind, ways to get my thoughts out. And I also, at the same time, was hunting for alternative holidays because I was fed up with the existing Catholic holidays that I was raised with and sort of the run-of-the-mill capitalism-inspired secular holidays that are in the United States. And what I especially was tired of was Thanksgiving, which is a holiday that never has sat right with me, something my parents celebrate, my other relatives, and I had gotten into a fight with my uncle about it because he was annoyed I wasn't wishing him happy Thanksgiving every year, even though I was like, look, here's my reasons why. It's a colonial holiday. We are a colonizing people on stolen land. I wanted an alternative. I wanted something that I could use to honor the seasons and celebrate. And so by doing some research and Googling, I ended up on the Neo-Pagan Wheel of the Year. I am not pagan. I'm not, I would say I'm spiritual, but I'm not like a believer of the supernatural. So take with that as you will. So I was like, all right, this is a great way for me to form my own traditions with my family and celebrate secular holidays. Fast forward throughout 2020 and then at the beginning of 2021, I also discovered tarot. And that brings us to my current tarot journals. So these are, the very first tarot deck I got was The Gentle Tarot by Mari, from Mari in the Sky. And this one is 2021 and 2022, and it's similar to how I do journaling now, where it's kind of scrapbooky. I put in things these are things from my baby shower. And then I'll draw the spread on one side and journal on the other side. That's typically how I do it. Along with that, I got the Gentle Tarot stickers, of which I've used a good portion of, but I still have more. I don't use these stickers every time. I usually only use them when I actually use that Gentle Tarot deck and then put them in. But sometimes I want to have, like, you know, theme of the year, and I use them then. So, those are my old journals, and this year I've had these two. I got this one as a gift from a friend, but I quickly filled it up. Let me see. I ran out of space in June. So I guess it took a half of the year to fill up. I, again, usually draw the tarot spreads and then journal about it. I like to write what decks I'm using. And I have some tarot pen pal letters in here that I've saved. I got myself one of those little Canon printers, so I was printing pictures instead of writing them always. And then once I used that one up, I jumped to the second Gentle Tarot journal that I had, and this is where we're at. So I started this one July 2024, and I'm now on September. Things in pen here are tarot deck studies, or tarot like exercises and activities. And then things in pencil in here are just tarot readings in general. I also have some dice divination here. I have some really cute letters from people. Oh, these are birthday letters. And then here's some more. I was doing a keyword activity. And yeah, so I've almost finished this one up. One of the activities I really enjoy is Alex L's How We Heal book. I've read all of her books. My favorite poetry book is her book Neon Soul. I've done After the Rain, which was similar to this one. And what it is we've got kind of memoir style essays, mostly from Alex, but some of them are from her, like, interviewing people. And then each section has journaling prompts and meditations. And the way I like to use these is when I get to the journal prompts, I make the questions into a tarot spread. So let me find an example for you. Actually, even easier, we'll just find an example I've already done in here. Okay, so for example, exercise from How We Heal on self-forgiveness, and then I would draw, so here's the questions: what haven't you forgiven yourself for and why? And then I drew the Nine of Wands. So I made the spread first, then I drew the cards, and then I used them as prompts to help me answer those questions. You could just, obviously journal with these exercises without tarot, but I thought it would be really fun to incorporate tarot into them. So for now, that's one of my main journaling activities. But I don't have like a set schedule in which I journal. I try and journal daily. It doesn't always happen. Most of the time, I journal with tarot. That's one of the biggest things that tarot has helped me with, is a way to keep my journaling going. Like, if I don't know what I want to write about, or I don't have, heart full, head empty kind of things, where you're like, I have all these feelings, but I don't know how to express them. Let's see. The only other notebook that I have is just this little plain notebook, and it's a catch-all notebook. It's just like notes for work, all that kind of stuff. And then if there's something in here that I really want to keep, I will either transcribe it into my digital like journaling, memory keeping database, which I use Trello. I'll put an image on the screen. Or I use my tarot journal and I copy something over into there. So I've done deck studies where I'm just like jotting down stuff in here, or I'll have this up in my bedroom and I'll pull tarot in the evening. And if that's something I want to hang on to, I will transcribe it into my actual tarot journal. Okay, finally. Oh, no, not finally. I have two more things here. So, the Wildflower Workbook. I started this a while back, but it's like some questions and you sort of like do these activities in here. So it's especially for like vacations or travel, but not necessarily. Some of them are like backyard kind of questions. Places you have visited, places you want to visit. And I'm just filling this out as I go. These are all from my garden. I grow wildflowers for pollinators. So I dried these. I think I did one with leaves too. Where's the leaves? Yep, here they are. And the other thing that I did that some people might feel is kind of funny, but I encourage you to try this if you're struggling with the don't want to mess up my journal, it's too pristine, having trouble getting started. So if you are a journal hoarder, try this. Get some lovely scrap paper, get some washi tape, and then go through your journal and put in little spaces to write. And if you mess it up, you just peel it out and toss it away. I also encourage you to try pencil. Like, I know people love their fountain pens and other really, like, beautiful inks, but good old pencils and colored pencils are really helpful when you're stressed about messing up a journal. And it just looks so much better full, you know? So, yeah, consider that. That's what I did, and then that way, too, I can give this journal to my kiddo if they want it. They don't have to. I am not one who's like, you need to inherit this thing and care about X, Y, and Z. Nope, nope, nope. My kid wants to toss out all of the traditions we've started in favor of doing something new. That is fine with me. But if they do want this, they could also just peel all this stuff out and start fresh. Do it themselves. Like, there's no reason to have keepsakes that just collect dust for no reason, right? But it's been a very nice activity. It isn't finished, but it is almost full. So I just do it, like, throughout the years. And I got this, I want to say 3 years ago, maybe just 2. And that's been a really nice activity. So it's kind of journaling. I will say it tends to be something I do in the summer. Summer's my favorite season. It's when I'm most active as far as hiking and exploring and going to the beach or going camping. So that's when I get this out. So I think this is 2 summers worth of memory keeping so far. I don't have a current planner. So I showed you one of my old planners and I showed you my tarot journal. The only other thing I have is one of these like tear-offs. This is this week's. The one thing I do that's tarot based in there is I will pull for your weekly focus. I pull up my weekly card and put it in here. It has a nice little habit tracker. And when you're done, you just tear it off and recycle it. And if there's anything worth keeping, I'll put it in my other notebook. I can link in the description where I got this. I enjoy it, but I'm not sure that this is something I want to continue. I do use it a ton. Like, it's got a ton of work. I use it mostly in my work. But my plan for 2025 is this friend. This is the Year of the Witch weekly planner. It's by Temperance Alden. Some of you may or may not like Temperance Alden. I don't have too much of an issue with her. She does kind of say things like atheists don't belong in the witchy realm, which I take issue with. And I don't know, some people don't like her book. But anyway, I don't think she's too problematic, and that I wanted to give this a try. I have some really nice stickers. These were also sent to me by the sweet Sarah over at Tangy Tarot. Let's do a little tour, shall we? Talks about how to use the planner, Year of the Witch. Gives you the Wheel of the Year. It gives you 2025 yearly page, a list of seasonal and cultural holidays. I enjoy the variety in here, and that's appreciated. The ones in bold are the Sabbaths. You then get month, and then it goes right into weekly pages. I'm going to try and take this guy and use this instead. But at the same time, incorporate more Wheel of the Year and tarot practices into here so that it is worth, you know, hanging on to or referring back to. Because these, since they're just sort of practical, get my work onto a page and then get it out of the way, I'm hoping that, like, I don't know, this would be meaningful. I do like Temperance's focus on sustainability. Let's see, what else is there to say about this? I don't know. You know, there's spots for notes. There's a little piece dedicated to each Sabbath in here. So in bulk, you know, each one gets a section. It's nice because it stretches into, what do we have here? We've got January 2026 and we've got December 2024. So that's really nice. So you got a ton to work with. But see, I think there's space here for both practical and more magical, spiritual activities. I do still plan to have a tarot journal in addition to using this little guy. There's also a habit tracker in the back, which is fun. I put a couple things in there in preparation for 2025. The last thing I wanted to share is my journal tools, I guess. I will admit, I don't have a ton. I have this little thing of color pencils. I mentioned in my last video, but if you have any recommendations on eco-friendly or sustainable color pencil sets where the leads don't break whenever you sharpen them, this one is nice as far as it's indie and, you know, quality that way, but they don't last. And as you can see, the short ones are really just me trying to sharpen them. Then I like gel pens. I try my hardest to not use or purchase plastic too much. But I did end up choosing these Pilot gel pens mainly because you can very easily buy and find these cute little refills. And I have several colors. So you can get a set, and then the actual pen itself you can use over and over. This one actually is starting to get low. And then this was a gift. This is a Pentel Tri-Eraser, and I just like it because you can get more eraser, and it's a lot easier than buying and replacing these little tiny bitty mechanical pencil erasers. And this is, oh man, the name's rubbed off. It's a Zebra Metal 0.7 or 0.5 millimeter, 0.5 mechanical pencil. I really prefer mechanical pencils to pens in general, but when I need a pen, it's these gel pens that I typically use. So yeah, I don't have a ton of like journaling tools. I just have a pen, a pencil, an eraser, and some colored pencils. Currently I have this particular notebook, which is dots on one side and lines on the other for my tarot journal. And then for my planner, I have this tear-off guide that when I'm finished with that, next year I'm going to be using this nifty little planner. Yeah. Oh, the other thing I'm thinking is once this little notebook's used up, those kind of notes will end up in here. So I'm trying to sort of condense my things down. But we'll see if that actually happens. I hope you enjoyed. That's a look at my journals and how I use them in my tarot practice and what I even spend my time journaling about. Yeah. Hope you enjoy. Take care.